Hi there. It's 3 days after the creation of the all carbon cell. Yesterday it was idle. It just sat here. It's pretty dry. That would probably snap if I bent it up. For our power, have no idea. We're down a bit. Yesterday I think it was around about 1.4. Now we're at 0.9 volts. Where's the lead? We'll connect the motor and we'll see what it's got, if anything. It doesn't have enough to run the motor. And a short circuit. About the same. Okay, we'll test the charge. Got the leads all set up. Charge voltage is set on 1, 2. The analog needle is on the 3 mark, so somewhere near 3 volts. Yep, we're at 3 volts. Not many milliamps. Cell's too dry, I think. Okay, that's about 20 seconds. Our voltage has gone up somewhat, and a short circuit, only 4 milliamps, and still not enough to run the load. Alright, I'll mix up some electrolyte, and then I'll get back and we'll pull it apart and check the cell's surfaces. And then we'll add the electrolyte and see if it works again. Till then, okay, I have a true 2 molar solution here. The other one we were using was the 1 molar, 20 mils of it with an extra gram chucked in of zinc sulfate. But this one's got 20 mils of distilled water and 6.4 grams of zinc sulfate and 4.8 grams of magnesium sulfate in that one. That's what we'll be using today. So, can we see the cell? Put it up. Okay. It's going to be stuck, isn't it? Okay, that's the positive side plate. That looks pretty clean. The crusty bits are around the edge where it's all going dry. That's dry to the touch, actually. Oh, it feels cool, and it does leave marks on the finger. The pads are all dry. They're still intact though. On the negative side, it's somewhat grey looking. I reckon Dunno. You think there's zinc on there? Well, maybe. They're a different colour. We'll have to try that out in the wet tub, and that way we'll know if the zinc's getting used. So, now to construct the cell again. Oh. I'll try to put them back in the same sort of spot. Oh, you know what I forgot? The electrolyte. We'll do that again. Give it a quick stir. So we'll put some on. That's our separator. Okay, we're a little bit down. We were normally about 1.4. That was a bit of a chore. I think it took 10 mils to re-top that up for a short circuit. Short circuiting now. Oh, can we see the meters? 21 milliamps. We're up compared to what we were, and we can run our little load. Okay, I'll try. Oh, where's the lead? A 3 volt charge starting now. That's about 30 seconds. And we're holding 1.5 probably will. We'll do a short circuit. We're getting 6, 70, 80. Oh, 82. That's not too bad. I'll give it a little bit of a boost. Give it 10 seconds. Alright, about 10. And we'll connect the load and see what happens. Alright, that runs good. 1 volt. 38 milliamps. Dropping quickly. So it's totally dry and crispy. So it's probably pretty saturated now because it's got the crystals of the last lot of Epsom salts and our new lot still in there. We could have probably put distilled water maybe. I forgot about that. Oh well, we'll see what a stronger mix in the mix works. Alright, so that looks okay. We'll give it a... I'll connect up the data logger and start a around about 15-20 minute charge on the same voltage. Okay, I'll be back. So this is number 11 charge with the refreshed electrolyte. That's where I connected it. Like I had it running before I connected the power supply this time. And then my fiddling around voltage. So I think we started off at about 150 milliamps and we've only been going for a minute. It's the same voltage setting we had the other night when we left off. I haven't touched it, but it's a bit cooler or hotter. Ambient temperature is 31, 33 there, and the wall somewhere between 30. It's probably the electrolyte trying to soak in and whatnot and doing all sorts of stuff. I'll tap it. Wobble. No. Oh. Yeah, that did something. Oops, whatever I did there. Broke it. Alright. I think it was earthing out. So we're nearly back where we were. I reckon the copper plate hit one of the pads. Yeah, I shouldn't touch things when it's running. I'll be back. Okay, I just turned the charge off on number 11th charge. We did 23 minutes and it started doing all wonkies again and it was jumping up and down. That's what it's doing there. I've saved that. I've got the charge off. We're holding 2.2 and I connected all the leads and then turned the camera on, so it's holding well. And we'll do a test. First run after 3 days. Well, after 2 days really. We ran it the first 2. So it's dropped in voltage heaps there compared to the other ones, but the electrolyte might not be in yet, or the electrolyte's too strong. Or we've disturbed everything and it's got to redo whatever. Pack down. I noticed electrolyte when I was rubbing it on was getting darker though. So the cell could be dead now, being dried out. The zinc might have separated it all. We'll give it a few more charges to. Oh, what happened then? I don't think I bumped the lead. Or did I? It was when I moved. Yeah. Wobbly lead. Which one is it? Oh, that one. No, it's the cell itself, I think, when I bounce. Ah. Alright, we'll let this do its thing. It's still probably dry and that's why we're getting weird curves. Okay, charge number 11. Discharge I mean, ran for 16 minutes and we delivered 9 milliwatt hours in that time, but it's still probably pretty dry. The cell, the membranes could all be broken down due to the crystals getting in and drying out as well, and pulling it apart probably didn't help. We should have just soaked it, but we wanted to look at the plates, so I'll give it another charge. Oh, first I'll save this and I'll get back. Okay, so we're going to start at charge number 12, but that's our bounce back voltage from the last discharge. I'll connect. I'll start the monitor. Actually, get rid of all that junk. Alright, starting the monitor, connecting the power supply. Voltage will go up now. Alright. Hang on, yeah, power supply's on, connected. Little lead. Alright, we're with it. Alligator clip was on, but wasn't contacting. Okay, we'll go to, what's it going on here? We'll go to 26 minutes, thereabouts. Till then. Okay, that's charge number 12. That's our curve. And I've disconnected the charge and we're at 2.2. And commencing the test for number 12 discharge. Now it's slightly higher again on our voltage. I think we were 1.6 last time. I forgot to check what time it was of charge. I think it was around about 26-28 minutes. I saved the curve, so I'll post that anyway. And parts of the carbon pads are still a bit dry. Oh, what happened here? Oh, we're going down. Oh, is there something touching? I reckon we may have broken the cell. loose connector. Alright, I'll re-plug the leads. I'll support that one up there. Try again. That, we're dropping right off. I think there's electrolyte spilling out underneath the cell. I've just held it upside down then. Might have soiled the plates. Oops. Oops, broken cell. Yeah, I'll call it a broken cell, I think, and move on to the wet cells with a new pad. We're back up now, sort of stabilised, but something wrong with that cell. I'll give it a move. As soon as you move it certain directions, wonder where the loose connection is. If it's a loose connection. We're going up now. Must be something to do with the cell electrolyte in it. I think it's trying to communicate to us. No. Yeah, probably call that. I don't know. I'll keep the cell going for a little bit longer and see what happens. I'll try not to touch it maybe. I wonder if the carbon pads are on the outside of touching. Anything happening there? Right. I'm touching around the edge of the cell, the paper towel and stuff. There. Where was that? Under here. That's it. A little piece of carbon is touching the positive side electrode slightly, just slightly. I think it's making a bond with the electrolyte and the copper. I'll just get the tweezers in there. Well, it's actually on the electrical tape. I think when you fold that over, electrical tape's still there, but there's that bit there. And that's the bit I was touching when it dropped by 0.1 volt. And the spiking as we're touching it. We're back to 1.2 now. You probably have to do a new charge or something. Oh, we're going up. Oh no. Yeah, it's still touching then because that was flapping. No, that's bad. That's good. That's better. The other side too. Is touching, I guess. I think the cell's destroyed. Clean it out, but it seems to be stable there. Okay, I'll leave it there and get back. Right, the cell lives. It's the 13th charge and nearly 2 minutes at 2 volts. Took a while. And that was a 32-minute charge, but the charge curve was all over the place and I wasn't even in the room. I mean, the charge curves look... Oh, what happened? Nah, spoke too soon. I got something freaky going on here. Checking temperature. The cell's temperature is 33, could be the laptop. 43 for the laptop. Data logger, 35, it's hot. Ambient temperature, oh no, it's ambient, 35.9. Well, we just dropped off heaps. I'll move the cell. Maybe the cell is broken. It was looking good for a second. I don't know what was going on. And now we're increasing again. Could have dirty connectors. Just find it's got weird. I'll leave that one, see how long it goes for. I've ran the charge again, it's still doing its weird stuff. And I folded up all the sides, they were touching. Especially when I put that clamp in, I pushed it down onto it and wrapped around, so I'm not sure if that's it. If it's not, the cell's dead. So that's the 13th charge. We'll give it another charge now for another 30 minutes and see what happens. Well, that's the discharge, I should say. Okay, charge 14's looking better. We're at 400 milliamps and it's stable, the curve. So it was the sides folding down over the cell and the crystals joining. Alright, I'll get back in 30 minutes. Okay, the charge curve for number 14 starting to look like where we left off on number 10. So I don't think we can go anymore because we started off around about 470 or something. Now we're going up and we're flatlining, or we'll start to be creating heat maybe. See, it's increasing again. But it could have had charge left over from that faulty charge we had for 30 minutes as well. So, I'll disconnect it. Oh, well, hang on. Yeah, disconnecting. Oops, should have stopped the test too. Alright, I'll save that and connect it. Okay, we're at our 2.2 volts. We had a 5-minute charge, and here we go. It definitely had energy left over because we're still at 2 volts, and it could be just because those sides are touching each other. More so now because there's so many crystals growing over the cell. So we'll see how long this goes for, and if it doesn't start getting any wiggity white lines, we might have solved the problem of the cell and it's not broken carbon sheets. I was thinking the membrane's penetrated because it dried out and it normally goes all crispy. So, bit of persistence with the cell, maybe. We'll see what happens. It's looking good so far. We've hit a minute nearly. Here we are, 1 minute. So I'd imagine there was still charge left somehow, even though it was shorting out or wasn't charging or something. The carbons are definitely bridging. I think they just went floppy after the electrolyte sat in, and when I came back they were folded down. And that clamp didn't help. Well, that's even better. That little cell takes a bit of abuse. Nearly 2 minutes. It's doing what it was. Maybe it's not too bad. So I think it's is it a supercapacitor charge, or is that supposed to be the discharge? The hoop. Alright, we're back to where we were. Might as well say what we left off at charge number 10. Oh, it's only 4 charges. It took 4 charges to work it out before. Well, there you go. And it's hot in here, I'm sweating. The cell is 32, tabletop 36, the wall. Oh, wall's breaking records today. No insulation, it's tin on that side too. 35.6, the other end of the table. What's the laptop? 42. Cell might like the heat, except for it dries out. We're at 3 minutes above 2 volts. Four milliwatt hours already in 3 minutes. But it could have been like a 35-minute charge, really. Strange cell indeed. This is just holding. Oh, no leads. You can trace the leads easy. This one here comes off the cell, goes to here, goes to that thing, goes straight in. The other one comes up around there to the cell, and the power lead. Just dangling down there. Isn't it connected? And there's the other one just sitting there. I've checked a couple of times again. Pays to check, you never know. Especially with this heat. Makes you forget things. Moving everything around disturbed the balance of the thing. Damn. Alright, I'll leave it at that and let it do its thing. Okay, cell only lasted 10 minutes and it delivered 8 milliwatt hours. So I'll give it another try. I'll give it a charge up and report back on that one. Oops. Before we go, we'll check the load actually. Wondering if something's busted. If this thing has more than 30 milliamps on this motor, something up with the data logger and the heat. Oh no, it's valid. Yeah, data logger checks out. A rough check. Okay, charge curve number 15 is totally bizarre. And we're ready for a discharge. I've got the power supply disconnected. We're dropping faster now. We're still holding our 2 volts, but we're not getting our charge length. So it's just diminished. It's starting to dry out a bit now. The next charge, I'm going to put the voltage down and see if that's the cause of the strange power curves. Yeah, we're definitely dropping faster though now. It went right back up to 500 milliamps or something. Okay, I'll get back, it's getting hot in here. Okay, charge 15 or 16, we'll find out in a minute. I set it to 1.8 volts and it's been charging for 33 minutes. I'll just save this and set it up for a discharge. Okay, it was charge 16. This is discharge number 16. We're at 1.5 volts on that charge. That was a 30-minute charge. So we should sit here for a while then, based on the other charges, but the cell could still be broken. Just responding to a lower voltage charge better maybe. Okay, I'll get back. This is discharge number 17. We got our 19 milliwatt hours and 30 minutes runtime. So it's somewhat up there, but the temperature has dropped heaps. It was all over the show except for the last 2, and I put the voltage down to 2.5, but I'm going to try a higher voltage now on a charge, just to see what it's like. If it is something to do with the heat in the data logger, we'll soon find out, because the cell seems to have dried out a bit, and it's now it's still down a bit from what our other last lot of run times was, but it's starting to function. So let's see if I can connect the lead. Where is the other lead? it is. Alright, that's the charger. And I'll turn the power supply on, perhaps. Okay. Alright, we'll do it at a 3 volt. And see if we get a distorted graph this time. If we do, oh yeah, the graph is getting distorted. Can't handle the high voltage anymore. Oh, maybe too early. Yeah, it's going up and down all over the place. Oh, might have stabilized. Alright, I'll give it 15 minutes this one because it's getting late. It's like 9:55. Okay, this is number 18 charge. We went for 17 minutes and we dropped down to around about 150 milliamps. Okay, we'll run the test, last test for the night. And the cell won't be any good tomorrow, it'll be too dry. So I'll do all the other tests in the wet cell where it probably has a bit more of a chance to work. So the higher voltage somewhat holds the 2 volts where the other lower ones weren't. So it does take a 3 volt charge now. It's starting to dry out somewhat. It's getting white and crusty. See, forming a crust around the edges. And the black is seeping into the clear membrane. That little piece right there. Still above its 2 volts, which is not too bad considering how we started today. So the cell's back in action maybe. If it goes for I don't want it to go for an hour and a half, that would be 11:30 or something. If it does, I might just cancel the thing and wherever it's at will do. Alright, so this will be the last run for this cell, and I'm going to construct a all water one or a liquid one, a tub based cell. And then we've done better before, we're at 2 or 3 volts at 2. So, okay, thanks for watching. I'll post all of these on the end of the video. Okay, discharge number 18 is about to run out. We're at 0.49 volts and we've got 31 minutes and 20 milliwatt hours. So it's not in its perfect shape, the cell, but it's somewhat up there. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a dead cell tomorrow because it's really crusty now. There you go. We're somewhat a bit low on the rebound. Okay, thanks for watching. Hi there, day 4 of the all carbon cell. It's quite crusty. I added the last bit of electrolyte about a half hour ago, just down in those grooves. So the cell's saying it has 1.1 volts. We'll see if it can run the load for any length of time. Hasn't had a charge or anything since last night. And not too bad, considering it was sitting there after a charge from last night. So it somewhat holds power even though it dries out pretty well. and it's sort of a bit of a dead cell as well. So I'll give it a last charge unless it proves pretty exciting. If not, that will be the last one. I'll set the charge up and I'll get back after 15 minutes of charging. It's doing a strange charge again. It started off at 2.9 volts on the charge controller, and for some reason it's shot right up and it still seems to be climbing. I'll check the multimeter. Multimeter's 2.19, and we started off at 250 milliamps and we've dropped to 70 in 2 minutes. Not even that, I think it's 1 minute 39 actually. Alright, that's enough of the update, it's getting too long. The number 19th powered charge is equally bizarre. It was up on the higher charge voltage. We're holding 2 volts still. And we'll do a test at the same load, 30 milliamps. Testing. Looking okay. Probably only runs for like 20 minutes maybe. I'm not sure, I'm only guessing. Hopefully it still delivers its 19 milliwatt hours. There we go, we're under 1 volt. We didn't make it a minute, so it is not performing as well as it was. Alright, I'll get back when this is finished. So this was the 19th discharge, and we only got 12 milliwatt hours in 18 minutes before it hit its time. So it's down heaps, but still it's quite dry, and I'm not sure if I should give it another charge. I reckon I will. I'll give it a 20th. If it's still working under the 20th, it's like that other cell we had. I'll get back and do that one. Discharge number 20. We're at 2 minutes and it just sort of dropped. I think it was at 2 volts for 2 minutes. This was a 48-minute charge on the same charge as the 19. It's formed a crust there. It's almost like a crystal cell now. So saturated with electrolyte crystals. And I reckon this one might produce a whole fraction more because of the longer charge. It was up near the 3 volts. I got the charge curve. It was still all wiggly. I'm not sure if it's the cell or my power supply might have overheated yesterday. I heard it making little clicking sounds. So I don't know if it was expanding or something. The coil perhaps. It's just a little mesh thing. Pretty basic actually. And that was the voltage, can't sort of see it. It's on about 3 on an analog meter which come off of a welder, which does 40 volts, so probably at that lower voltage it won't be that accurate. Now it drops sometimes here, rapidly. Alright, I'll let this one do its thing. I'll report back and that will be it for this cell. I'll try to keep it going. It's going to be hot in the next couple of days, so I'll leave it sitting in. Might even give it a soaking in the electrolyte actually. Okay, discharge number 20, somewhat right down, 14 milliwatt hours, and it was a 48-minute charge at a high voltage. So, cells are quite dead. Well, I'll leave it there for this cell. I'm going to construct the water tub cell version as well. Alright, thanks for watching. Hi, this is after the 20th discharge, and it had a 20-second 4-volt charge in the cell, and if you look at this, you'll hear the data loggers running, and if I short it out at the same time, we're doing 170 here in a short, and the data logger hasn't cut out yet. It's at 0.7. That was after the 20th discharge. I think it charges up better with a couple of seconds. I was trying to flatten it to show the results, but I'm still holding the short circuit, running the thing somewhat. That's different. Still a short. Somewhat doesn't drain pretty quickly actually. So it's a super cap. Oh, nearly cut the data logger out now. Check out the data graph. You can see where I put the short circuit on. And it still did 2 milliwatt hours. That's different. And we'll see if it is flat. Oh, it probably won't be, but no, it's hard to make this thing flat. I was going to show you a 20-second 4-volt charge on it. I'll short it again. Still at 120 milliamps. Down to 106. Cut that out. And we'll run that again. It's a crystal cell cap now. It's quite dry, I'd imagine. Still in there. It's got like a solid layer on the membrane. So I could have cut the video times down with just 4-minute charges. Seems not too much. Probably like not as dry if I did that. Alright, I'll flatten this and then I'll get back and show you what the 4-minute charge is about. Okay, that 4-second charge, 10-second charge or whatever it was at 4 volts lasted 18 minutes and delivered 7 milliwatts. So we'll see if we can do the test so we can fully flatten it. Even there it still runs, but it will drop. Okay, power supply's on. Yeah, it still ran for a minute after discharge. Ah, God. When you want it to be a quick video, I'll short circuit. Give it. We'll try again. We're back before the short circuit. increase. We'll go to 50. Should drop it straight away now. Yep, okay. Alright, we're going to add some charge. What's the seconds? Wait till that clock's over. Right now. Okay, that's 20 seconds. Disconnected the charge, we're at the 2 volts. Let's see what it's got. And we're at 50 milliamps as a load. That's holding up, not too bad. So all those long charges, waste of time probably. For the size of the cell. It's delivering 0.07 watts. Well, there you go, a crystal all carbon cell. Yeah, I might put it up to 80 milliamps. Alright, we'll try a higher load, same charge time. Yeah, we'll do 100. Don't want to go forever. That's already added 5 minutes to the video. Alright, adding the charge. Now. Okay, that's about 20 seconds. Attempting the discharge. Okay, for 100 milliamps, the cell's going okay. At that size, and dried out 4 days later, crystallized. Nice. Well, this cell has definitely been quite interesting. I'm amazed it's still actually working. Well, we're doing 0.15 watt, or now 4. Still making this video longer. Now upload time's really bad. Three milliwatt hours already, 2 milliamps hours. we have to connect the other cables to do a wattage in, see what we're getting in compared to what we get out. There's that's greater. 4 milliwatt hours and nearly 2 minutes. Yeah, we'll try a higher, what were we on voltage? I think we're on about 9 volts. I was watching the timer. On the analog it's about 9. Yeah, that's enough of that. We're going to run out of juice. Oh, we did. Alright, we'll do another charge. I'll keep an eye on... Well, this one might be a bit longer. We'll set the voltage higher. No, it says we're at 5 volts. Really? I'll turn that up. There we are. Yeah. No, it's just saying we're on. Oh, I see. We've got 5 volts going through the cell, but we're charging it up with like 10, I think. Bypass that. Right, I think I've exceeded that time. Alright, we'll try again. Last time, and that's it. I'm gonna go for tea. It's 6 o'clock nearly. So it's capable of doing 100 milliamps for a little bit. I didn't think that cell would do that. But, could have sped the tests up quicker too. We'd still get the same energy density, we should. But at a quicker time. I was waiting up to an hour and a half at some of the tests. And just checking all the leads. That's the power supply lead. Coming out of there. Data logger goes to a twisted 2-pair, one up to there, which goes to there, to the crusty cell, back down. Oh, that one's for the multimeter. Crusty little cell doing 100 milliamps. For 1 minute 27 seconds. Wonder how you burn this cell out. Heaps of juice into it. Got no electrolyte for it, so I'll leave it sitting there and I'll try over the couple of days and give it charges on a dead cell sort of, or crystallized. Little data logger smells a bit. Not too much, probably burning oils off, hasn't been. It's only 30 degrees on the table, 31 there, near the power supply of the laptop, and the hot wall, 30, cell, 31. Nice, we got 7 milliwatt hours in 3 minutes. enough of that one. Should we try another charge in 200 milliamps? Yeah, we will. I'll connect the load, and while I'm changing the milliamps, that can be our charge time. Alright, we've got the power supply on. Setting 200. Oh, can't do that. It's only that many. Alright, disconnecting. Oh, how long was that really? Yeah, don't matter. Alright, no power supply. And starting a 200 milliamp test. Oh, it's gonna drop quickly, eh? Ah, there you go, something new. Doing 0.29 watts. Wonder how accurate that is now. Oh, I got enough to measure maybe. Might not measure on a digital clamp. It says 40 amps. Nah, it says 500 milliamps, that's not real. It says 300 and something just open. Yeah, maybe I should reset it. Ah, killed it. I stole the milliamps. Well, what did we get there? We got 3 milliwatt on that load. Alright, that's enough playing with the cell. We'll put it to rest. Alright, now thanks for watching.